All right, hi guys. This is my second attempt to talk to you. I've just done a 30-minute stream, and I've got to turn my mic on, which is no use to anybody. But yeah, I'm gonna have to even keep it even more brief because I'm running a little bit late today, and I want to prepare for the Open today, and I want to try and get myself prepared and ready, and hopefully you do too. So I'm just gonna quickly debrief what happened yesterday. Basically, yesterday we had a sell-off. We had a brief. I've got the overnight sessions in here just to show them because we've been having some activity in the overnight sessions, which I think is quite important. Basically, we had this like failed auction just above the prior day's highs, and you can see this this there was just no excitement up here. So auction fell silent to the buy side, and then sellers took control, and then we saw this this basically continual selling in the overnight session, and culminating in an open just below the Powell swing lows, which were I think about 45, 44s, something around there, 40, 44s. So we opened below those key swing lows, and you can see we opened very lackluster, didn't do very much. We were just hanging around. We were just hanging around the open for the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. 5 minutes is this little green line on the side of my profiles, on the left of my profile IBs. Purple line is the first 15 minutes, and basically this, we were at these key areas, the previous low from the previous session where I've got my cursor right now, and there was just no response, no buying, there was no selling initially as well. But then basically one side had to go first, and it was a stab to low. There was an impulse lower, and if you have a look at my notes from yesterday, I kind of illustrate that, where basically the first move was a break lower. We broke below the 29s, which was an area that we were looking at yesterday, and we broke below, and crucially we held. And as soon as you see that previous low hold as a level, and buyers have got no ability to get above that price, you want to be thinking about, oh my god, okay, this is the end of one time framing higher. We are in a long-term downtrend. We've had a lot of selling pressure. Was what we just had the last few days just a little a correction, and now we're going to resume the move lower. So there were a few key takeaways from that. Was one, the fact that we were opening below those power lows. Two, the fact that we didn't do very much on the open, and nobody was interested in taking this back up higher. You'd think that given the fact that we sold off in the overnight session into the open, that somebody would have come in and thought, hey, there you go, value yesterday was much higher, we can take it back higher. No, there wasn't that. And once we broke below those 29s, you've got to be thinking, let's get short, let's get short, let's get short. Not just anywhere, because you want to make sure you control your risk. You want to look for structure. You want to get involved in in a decent location. So there were a couple of opportunities. There was one at 29. There was a tiny little pullback. If you managed to get in there, fantastic. A little bit brave, but you had the line in the sand to sort of say, right, okay, if this goes a couple of points above me, I'm out. So then if you can understand and read the order flow, that would have helped you a little bit as well. And I detailed that on my notes yesterday, which you're freely able to access on yesterday's stream. So if you go back to yesterday, you look at yesterday's notes, you can have a look at all those features that I pointed out. I'm a bit new to this, so I'm going to try and keep things succinct and not waffle too much. But yeah, my notes, I try to keep them quite concise, and I only put things in there that I think are valuable to myself and to you guys as well. So there's a couple of footprint setups there that I thought were quite key. On these kind of days, you're looking for a pullback. And my initial reaction was, I'm looking for a pullback to the VWAP. I'm looking for a pullback to the mid. But these trend days are so strong that you don't get any pullbacks. And what you're doing is just seeing these key references from before just getting taken out, and no response from buyers or sellers if you're going the other direction. So these are key sort of turn on, get your trend hat on and start thinking, I need to get on this in the right way and hold on to it for as long as possible. So yeah, there are a couple of instances where I tried to get involved. I had some technical issues yesterday. Hopefully I fixed them for today. But yeah, basically the trades that I outlined, I would have taken. I think I got on one of them, but I had no idea that I got on them because my trading system didn't have any fill feedback. So I got filled, and as soon as I realized I had a naked position that I had no knowledge about, I just exited. And I would advise that when you're having technical issues, the best thing you can do is just, dust your hands of it and take things off. Whenever you've got any issues that might impact your performance, you don't want to be flipping a coin and hoping that things are going to be okay, and you don't want to be trading on a system that's not performing. It's the best way to lose money and get frustrated at the very least. So just a bit of psychology there. Any issues, just flatten off, get out, phone your broker and get out, and just step away until you know that it's resolved, which sometimes takes a long time. Anyway, so just going back to what we've been talking about, this is my debrief. You're welcome to go and check it out. I hope it's kind of clear. So we've had a continual sell-off yesterday. It was just like a trend lower, but there were a couple of points where you could have got in. There were a couple of single prints that were left behind that you could have tried to get involved back into. Again, there's a couple of examples in my notes from yesterday, so if you want to check those out, go and check them out. If you know how to read footprint, that will help you too, because that's one of the tools that I use. Yeah, it's very hard to get involved or get on a trend like that, because it's just literally going at a 45-degree angle, step lower, with very shallow pullbacks. You're never going to get that pullback to mid. You're never going to get that pullback to the VWAP, the overnight VWAP. You're just not going to get it, because the selling, it's just, sell some and then sell some more. That is what the market's doing. It's just get out mode. It's emotional. It's kind of crazy. Basically, it's get out at any price. Just get me out of my positions time. And you want to recognize that and get involved as quickly as you possibly can. Anyway, we had a little brief pullback into the close. We had a low of, I think, 08s. We pulled back up to 23s, 24s, where we closed. And then immediately after the open, you just saw again, we had a drop, which took us down to the overnight, the RTH lows. So yeah, immediately after the close, we just saw it drop off again. So there was maybe a bit of inventory adjustment into the close, and then the auction just resumed lower. And then we had a little attempt to break higher, take bright higher. We pushed above the VPOC. So we've got a lot of yesterday's VPOC is lower. We've got a lot of volume that's been done in the lower part of yesterday's profiles and distribution in this multi-distribution day. And the first part of the distribution, I've kind of highlighted where that 4 is. So you can see it there. That's roughly one distribution. I mean, it's never going to be exact here. There's just so many distributions because we left so many singles. Basically, we were just leaving price behind. We're never revisiting it. So it basically, we were just moving lower until we found buyers, and we just didn't find buyers. Even in the overnight auction, we've had a very strong liquidating move lower, where we've pretty much got to the yearly lows. I think there were 55s put in on the 12th of May, and we have touched 56, one tick above. But we've already had 80 points worth of range in the overnight session. So I expect this area to consolidate. Normally when we have like these big pushes lower, I expect it to sort of trade in that kind of area, that range for today. We've got some key highs in the overnight session where overnight inventory is very short, and above where I've kind of put this little squarey rectangle thing that I'm now pointing to, we are we could see a little pop higher, and I expect it to hold below this 55 singles mark where I've put my little number 2 and big blue line saying singles. So I've drawn that in my little blue squiggle that goes all the way up. I expect this kind of behavior to be a bit more choppy. Failing that, if we open below, which we are, we're going to open probably out of range of yesterday. I expect to see an initial, overnight inventory is overly short. I expect to see some adjustment on the open, and I'm looking for those lows from yesterday to be tested. We might even push up to test the VPOC. If we start pushing above the VPOC, it's very likely that all the volume, all the shorts that got involved late on in the session yesterday, all that emotional selling, might get jittery and start pushing us higher to touch those 55s. But I'm expecting initially at least a push back up to push back inside, push back to at least the lows of yesterday, And one scenario I have is that we literally, I mean, my best case scenario is that we touch the lows of yesterday and then we just immediately shoot off lower. That just says to me everything about what yesterday was about. People are just desperate to get out, and they're not willing to see prices go high. They'll just sell at any opportunity. They'll just get out. So those are things that I'm looking out for going into this session. I don't think it's going to be too easy. It's never easy when you've got like a big overnight range. Hang on, that's my squawk talking. I haven't really taken any trades this morning. I've been just flustered trying to get all this set up working. So yeah, I'm pretty much flat on the day. And I'm going to be looking to trade this session. But again, I'm just looking for clues from the earlier open to see where we're going to go. And I advise you guys to do the same. But yeah, those yearly lows created in the real-time session from the auction on the 12th of the 5th, which was last Thursday, they are looking vulnerable. This really does look like we're going to continue lower on the weekly and monthly. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave it at that and start getting ready. What's the time? It's 6 minutes into. I'm gonna go and watch Morad Asghar from Convergent for his prep. I think he does a fantastic job. So there's no need for me to do this. Actually, I just wanted to debrief. So there are my notes. But I also put my outline as well. So yeah. Check out Morad if you want to. It's well worth it and stuff. The man's taught me a lot. And yeah. Okay, so we're done, and I will come back in a bit for the live trading session.